The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with tension as Ambassador Jin stepped through the crystalline doors, her silver diplomatic robes flowing behind her. Beside her walked Mace, a human bodyguard whose presence immediately silenced the room. The assembled delegates, beings from 47 different star systems, turned their multiple eyes, sensors, and appendages toward the pair. The war between the Crithian Empire and the Valorian Collective had raged for 3 standard cycles, consuming entire solar systems and threatening to destabilize the entire galactic arm. Trillions had died, billions more would perish if the conflict continued. Every diplomatic attempt had failed. Every ceasefire had collapsed within hours. Jin was humanity's youngest ambassador, chosen for this impossible task precisely because of her reputation for creative solutions. But it wasn't her presence that commanded attention, it was Mace. Humans were relatively new to the galactic stage, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 2 centuries prior. Most species regarded them with curious indifference, noting their average strength, modest lifespans, and unremarkable physiology. They were neither the strongest nor the smartest species in the galaxy. They were simply persistent. The Council recognizes Ambassador Jin of Terra, announced Supreme Arbiter Kelthix, his katana's form towering above the assembly. You have requested emergency session to address the Crithian-Valorian conflict. The Council is skeptical. What can humanity possibly offer that we have not already attempted? Jin's dark eyes swept across the chamber. Supreme Arbiter, honored delegates, I come not with words, but with a demonstration. The Crithian and Valorian representatives present, I ask you both a simple question. Why do you fight? The Crithian ambassador, a being of pure energy contained within a force field, pulsed angrily. The Valorians destroyed our colony on Praxis. 10 million Crithian souls obliterated. The Valorian representative, a creature resembling a crystalline mantis, clicked its mandibles. Lies, the Crithians attacked our trade vessels first. We merely defended ourselves. And so it continues, Jin said calmly. Each side claims victory. Each side demands justice. But tell me, can either of you defeat the other? Silence. The answer is no, Jin continued. Your militaries are perfectly matched. Every battle ends in stalemate. Every offensive costs more than it gains. You fight because you cannot imagine not fighting. You fight because stopping would mean admitting your dead died for nothing. The Crithian ambassador flared brighter. You dare suggest we dishonor our fallen? I suggest you're trapped in a logic loop that will consume your civilizations, Jin replied. But I understand. Words alone won't end this war. That's why I brought Mace. The human bodyguard stepped forward. He was tall by human standards but average by galactic measures. His face was weathered, scarred, the mark of someone who had seen real combat. He wore simple tactical gear, nothing remarkable. This human will end our war. The Valorian laughed, a sound like breaking glass. How, by fighting both our fleets single-handedly? In a manner of speaking, Jin said. She turned to Mace. Show them. Mace nodded. His hand moved to his sidearm, a human weapon called a pistol. In one fluid motion, he drew and fired. The blast struck the Crithian ambassador's containment field. Alarms shrieked. Delegates dove for cover. Security forces materialized, weapons charging. But the containment field held. The shot had been precisely calculated enough to trigger every defense system in the room, but not enough to actually breach the shield. Before anyone could react, Mace had already spun and fired again, this time at the Valorian representative's position. Again, shields flared but held. 3 seconds had elapsed. Ceasefire, Kelthix roared. Human, you have violated exactly 2.73 seconds. Jin interrupted, her voice cutting through the chaos. That's how long it took my bodyguard to target and fire upon both of your representatives. In a real assassination attempt, both would be dead. The chamber fell silent. You see, Jin continued, walking calmly to the center of the room, humans aren't the strongest species. We're not the smartest. But we have one quality that makes us exceptional. We're frighteningly good at killing. We evolved on a death world where everything, the weather, the predators, the microscopic life tried to murder us daily. We survived by becoming the apex predator of our planet. We hunted creatures 10 times our size. We invented 10,000 ways to end life. She gestured to Mace, who stood motionless, his weapon holstered. Every human is a weapon. We carry this legacy in our genes, our culture, our psychology. And right now we're offering our services to the Galactic Council. You threaten us, the Crithian ambassador demanded. No, Jin said softly. I'm offering you a way out. Here's humanity's proposal. Both sides agree to immediate ceasefire. All disputed territories become joint economic zones administered by the Council. In exchange, humanity provides security guarantees to both civilizations. Why would we trust humans to keep peace? The Valorian asked. Jin smiled coldly. Because if you break the ceasefire, you won't be fighting each other. You'll be fighting us. And unlike your matched militaries, humans don't fight fair. We don't do honorable combat. We don't follow your rules of engagement. We end threats permanently and efficiently. She'll let that sink in. Ask yourselves, would you rather fight an enemy you understand, or the species that invented nuclear weapons within a century of discovering electricity? the species that considers mutually assured destruction a viable strategic doctrine. Mace spoke for the first time, his voice level and cold. 3 minutes ago, you were at war. Now you have a choice. Peace guaranteed by humans who excel at violence, or continued war knowing that humanity is watching. And we pick sides based on who breaks the ceasefire first. The Crithian and Valorian representatives looked at each other, really looked at each other, perhaps for the first time in 3 cycles. The human raises a valid point, the Valorian said slowly. Neither of us wants humanity as an enemy. Agreed, the Crithian pulsed. Perhaps we could discuss terms. Celthix's mandibles clicked in what might have been amazement. The Council recognizes the unprecedented effectiveness of humanity's approach. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to end a war that consumed trillions of lives. As the representatives moved to separate chambers to discuss terms, Jin caught Mace's eye. He nodded slightly. The pistol had been loaded with blanks, the shots carefully choreographed with Council security, but neither the Crithians nor Valorians needed to know that. Sometimes. Jin reflected, the best diplomacy was simply reminding people that there are worse things than compromise. And in a galaxy full of civilized species, humanity's talent for controlled violence made them the perfect peacekeepers. The war had ended not with superior firepower, but with the credible threat of something far more frightening: human intervention.